and some non cassa yemfa emremo, young Quashas yemfan free, New Patriotic Party NPP Amanyoko, one delegates conference, why yano and ray, and somewhere PP or Honomo Ebby. But quite by ya now quaquayanchino, a share kakra, in fear do dua, NPP Amanyoko is success will be a dear, now is a watra youth. Na yaka youth na nkoba se bia wo be ko WCC aso dem yes how you feel na just say wo ya abrewa sesen kura na honam mu no susu se emu ya wodin na wutimi ko na emeburu ko a wo ko bia e na ye youth no ada bia MPP amanyoko ne se wa ma ye nsakira ya kakra eno na eba na so ase delegates a wo moto aba etu hine si hine e wa amanyoko ne mu no enya de a wo mote ase na ya akwakwa ye nte ase we si ye nye ne senti hu nkomodie no egusu a ekoso na wo hwe MPP amanyoko no wo hyehyeye emu a wo mo emra wo mo de tintima ya wo mo mra no ankasa article 15 section 4 no de etoso 9 no mu ho no na wo mo sesa no kakra sansese wo hwe ababie gina ne se MPP amanyoko eba bia wo ye babunu no kire se wonya mfie aduanan se wonya mfie aduanan krode a no watra babunu na wo kɔ wani ma waye pani na nso na mpanimfo pese wo mo ye hyehyeye se de be ya ye bete so ne ade aba mfie aduasanum enti wonni mfie aduasanum a woda so ye youth e wa manyoko nim na no ene adwenkyere kakra epieye e wa conference na se no no se enti ase anhye da mamu papa titiro delegates no kire se da bi enya de ho no won bete ase em de atoso mienu aye emra eno soso no won ma hyehyɛ se de wo behwe abato a won mo beto ewo polling stations ahodo emu no wo mo sesanka kane no na constituencies ene hwe se wo mbeto aba ewo sa abre no mo nanso wo ma hwe de aba regional se oversight na wo se regional mum ene hwe na wo mo ye ho adwuma e chen se beko constituency eno so delegates na nhye dante wo mo ho ase ewo ho na ama enipa dodo no a ebisa ho asem se wo se mpanimfo tena se biem na nhyehyɛ a wo ma ye ne nsahye a wo ma ye aba no de asenti ase nhye danya adwuma no wo mo san kwaso biem no hunu kwan a wo de ebefa so yenkwa hwe se de delegate ni kire wo ma dwen efa sansusue mienu ya ba ye e wo conference na se no mo susu se enhye da emoa no
of the Constitution to provide that the Regional Executive Committee shall appoint persons other than polling station, electoral area, and constituency officers.
I was on for not just said a course on our delegates conference and Asiano. And no, not just a woman, your Montiasi and then Tiasiachna. Was 54 now, motion 54 no. Was this a wish said, dear one more young Shisha, a war, one police stations and an impression, Pesiano Soa, a constituencies and an awama ye. It is a Cobana Sasa, dear, will be examined and one translation, dear. No, I said a question, one who no answer. Or we are one was our market there be in Tinkabaya. And regional executives in the Momo and Mesha constituencies, no, a Juma Wamo Yan Swane, Wama Batu Moni, a dear Sede Bay Babua, Nafe, a Mubada Hofine, and no Nomsine, there be Womantia Sessa, Yan said yet Yanwa, Amachasa Utia, Ke Mammy Cabinosa, Netia, na Wamo Edi Hunkomana, Asamintia Quamaswe, na your name. Kane delegates conference na se no de see ye wo hoye ne political scientist Dr. Jonathan Asantiochre emma ho nkomo kakra do akotie nka Angel Kasiasi ne Angel TV Angel FM majo
ya mne ba meje so
ya da se pa se da bia ya wo ne nam ye penchechre mu a aya momma ben ewo amanyo semunti aya na wo gibre na chechre ye mu yenim se nra delegates conference course so ayi na wotwe awie ye mu ba abesi ene ho nchin wahye ho nkomo ekoso ni nyina wasobuso a wuti bia ye hwe sesan ya na NPP amanyoko no pese wo mo de ba delegates ne se da wo mo nti ase mienu no titire wo de ye youth age no wo mo se wo mo te so about 35 enti wo ye 35 okode a wanyini wonye youth biem kane na nka ye 40 years na se wo mo de ensusuye sa aba eno akire no se supervision ana oversight emfree regional emra constituency wa bra abato bremu ene hyehyɛ ahodo e wo constituency no mo no ne nyina no asɛ na delegates no bo nhye da enwuso me ba che hu ne sen
Mami chia wetie for no ahwefo nyina me de no political analyst na internally no ya na acquired to say when it comes to oversight responsibility from the top to the bottom. I am one more almost to me so I am they have their favorite they show some biases along the line. In the wisdom of the electorate, almost that status quo antenna should remain. Maybe among one son. So they said that any or more internal arrangements, so maybe in their own wisdom, they think that is the best, so they want to keep it. But with respect to the youthful way, I find to say
age brackets,
age bracket, I am in Kakras. They want to keep to the old age, instead of going by the United Nations Convention, because Penasada now quite to say, one more Mabru youthful age, they should have been fighting for other positions that are earmarked for those within those age brackets. Now, money, more take for example, in Kanonanka, nursing, a Jumadia, and Ma, and a member so a nursing. So, how are the other reducing the female way now, right, and ask more hours, Abiano. So, if you allow people of 35, 36 and above, say they are part of the youth up to 40 or 45, then creating more problems for the youth, and then taking potentially you are not making the youth, exact and exhibit their skills, because we can tell also along the line. So it baffles my mind, say, pretty much change and take place.
Yansha the whole conference na Ankasa. Why a political scientist? The whole conference, no, the organization timing, and someone muka yeah, any attitude, demeanor, said yeah, and penny for can want some said yeah, responsive free delegate. Yansha the whole conference, who and also saying.
Well, I think that the whole conference was well organized. The patronage was high. Any elections, so the stakes will not be that too high. It is just mainly amendment here and there. Now, approve along the line, and it was mainly based upon Professor Makokwe's, report. And then Sakaya, I was apart from that, we only saw chorus answers or chorus responses. Do you want this? Those who want to say I, and then they. So, such chorus answers, I don't think that the stakes will be that high in that particular, situation. That being said, speeches the speeches were quite good. I think Rafinha Markins, as usual, did something spectacular, but very typical of him to tell me, say, when you touch one, you touch all. I think that is a beating of war drum, and in its essence, it is a preaching of lawlessness. And I think that notwithstanding, say, no officer will preach unity and togetherness. You touch one, you touch all. Abraham kunya mo serve or mine. Touch one, touch all, no more here, all no more here. Did they enjoy any of those largesse? So if you have served in your capacity as somebody within the public space, that there is a need for accountability. You cannot that one way attitude or exhibiting. So I think as a legislature, you cannot make laws and be drumming, and be warmongering. I don't think that is right. In my own
Dr. Kafrao, is it against the background of the war ablekuma ene pockets of violence nketenkete bia enipa bi susu se enipa bia yesusu se omo ye NDC for eye editia enipa bia yesusu omo ye NPP for ene ade asesa na enipa ne bi ka de akwa akosi se no na e be warrant such comment.
Well, if that is the case, then it is a smart hypocrisy. I feel sad. By-election violence it did not start at Ablikuma North. We have a litany of them. And you know, what is a DC I was West, even a whole commission recommended A, B, C, and D. The government issued a white paper on that. And the ASP Azugunumni when someone in our those guys who slapped some judge, where are they? It is because they are not asking for any kind of waiting. They think people are forgotten. No. Was a bloodbath. Something that should not happen again. I don't think what happened at Ablikuma North is something that we should be proud of. We are growing our democracy. Things of that nature should not be happening. But yes, things of that nature should not be happening. Okay. I predicted that the NDC was going to win because as long as they have expanded the the police stations are now controversies are one of there. And looking at the performance of the government, of the party in government, that is the NDC, and having the goodwill of the people of Ghana, there was no way the NPP was going to survive that particular election. They should rather even be more careful at Akotia, because if they are not careful, looking at the difference between Dr. Baumé and that of President Mahama, that in itself is also a very dicey distance. So I'm of the view, say, electoral violence is something that should not be happening.
Okay.
We want our security to be up and doing. This idea of say Sabaya, and others want to do things to gain favor from the party in government. I think it's a smack of hypocrisy, and we should not be countenancing. We need to call a spade a spade. At this moment, who call by election and a quatraba, Obia Nua, or Queen say, Obese, Obi Atari, and so Untimi say NDC and MPP Atari. So if you say it's NDC for the year against I think you are not being, factual, you are not being truthful. Let the investigation be done, let arrest be done. And then we can take it from there. But to say for political, expediency, and you want to rip up people's sentiment, you go and say A, B, C, and D. I know it is neither here nor there. We have seen worse things. In 2020, people died. People have not been compensated. You are not even talking about that. 8 people were shot dead. In 2024, others were shot dead. You're not also talking about that. But what happened at Ablikuma North? That in Amincha there, which I am not in any way going to say, but at least nobody died. But somebody took pepper spray there, which was a premeditated act. What he says, who could be no the Bibisasha, who ni Padomua. Just a as a way of sparking some kind of confusion.
Okay.
No, more bond than to normally a tardy excuse my language.
So, but one thing so no can was electoral college and it's saying national council structure the new structure now we proposing national council members aka ho national executive neck na ka ho bi regional constituency executives aka ho national council of elders national patrons afa national directors and sitting and past MPs aka ho afa and afa tescon representatives of course and afa I when ma ye de ebi mo ba be ka ho a asa ye bie mu kakra make I said before this conference omo emergency meeting ba kwa omo ye omo ka say electoral college no be biem omo emma ne nya delegates fia bi ketewa bi said ye be ya de aya ye ka money crasty no a me hye mama nkrofo amfa sika enwurewure binom adwen mo constitution said ye omo dia be ka ho said ye nipa on beto abanete no.
delegate system no in Kenya bonesa na mum omonkasa transi so omoko apro na omoko akopenko for vote no they had the things that they told them omka tro mo say delegate no omogege fridges ni we no mkonko from na mkoto aba asa mo pese enso ye to aba no bidia na enso so ye agi fridges ni ye agi TV and I the answer akoto aba no. These are the things that they were told. So with people becoming so disenchanted and apathetic against the party in government, then they decided, said, no, there is a need for them to have a broaden the base, of those who have the opportunity to elect a flag bearer and so on and so forth. And so, for me, what is significant about a Nachi conference, and it said, democracy has been broadened because you have given more people the opportunity to take part in the decision-making process. But that being said, it is not enough to just broaden the base. One, in actual fact, I do not have sanctions. I just say we want to prevent a situation where somebody can bribe his way to get power. It is still simple. People will still give bribes because there are no sanctions. And all what they will need to do now is to target about 40% of the entire electorate and the entire electoral college. 40%. But target here. We saw one resource also targeted by 30. The rest of the 30,
na se bia ontimi nchia wo munyina but obetimi anya nipa dodo no a ebetimi ama na wen ne nachia ama wo
betimi ama na wen.
Okay.
Only 50+1.
Okay.
So if we do not put in place sanctions, that will prevent people from going about doing the same thing that for which reason you are brought in when they are. And it is much ado about nothing.
Doc, ya na ase anwumre na yenim se as emereko no enkomo ni bebre besan sori. Wada Roma aya beba ho ntia na wagye yeso da ase anwumre pa. Awusafo de ane ne kasa ye wa ben e wa amanyose mo ye political scientist. Enna motene no Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre. Enkoma ye di ye eye NPP Delegates Conference e koso na wotwe wie ye mu no. Ho nsem bi apiepie eba ene abo ho nkomo no. Yeguso anti subsequently nkomo bi e beba ehia se ye bono na yabo ya.